Hey there, weird ass black sheep. Look. You are not lost. You are in the right place at the right time for all the right reasons. So, welcome. Ah, it's better than you were, better than where you were. Bizarro World got rid of you. The party pen didn't, or no. The Twilight Zone didn't want you. So you drove away from there and hit the fork in the
I love
road.
it. You guys are so great.
Then you took the right and rolled right into the most offensive church this side of the universe. The party pen. Welcome. And what we do here in this most amazing place, we read this great ass book called God Said, because God did not say that. Fight me. God did not say that. And this is God's unofficial biography, just Biblically, as read by yours truly, the most wonderful, the most beautiful, the bestest, and the smartest sage, Saint Nikki got the grit. And I am fucking wonderful. Say something. Anyway. Anyway. Enough of my nonsense. We are on Deuteronomy chapter something or other. Not that chapter. Oh, chapter 5. So what had happened was Moses, being the awesome guy he is, Moses is telling them the preface to their story. Well, I guess this would be the epilogue. He's telling them their history, from beginning to where we are now. And he has just finished this and told them Josh, our sexy gladiator, is going to be the one to do the damned thing. And for some reason, he wants to make them feel bad that he can't go over to the other side when clearly it was his fault because he got a big dick. But whatever, it's fine. So that's where we left off and where we will be picking up. So come this way. I have everything you need for whatever time it is where you are. I have cannabis, cigarettes, coffee, chairs with your name on it, cat beds, and canine space. Yeah.
Awesome!
Thank you, Jimmy. I also find it awesome. We also have a Jimmy Juggalo. He's maxing and relaxing in the back over there talking shit. Anyway, so come on this way. We're going to have a good time. Wait, there should be a song. Going to have a good time and do it twice. Nah, going to have a good time and do it twice. Yes. So, welcome everybody. Don't forget to press like and subscribe. You know what? I wanna know how I don't remember. Anyway, I want to read chapter 5. So, welcome everybody. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We do this fun shit every night at about 9:30. Yeah, and if we finish this, we watch some of Amber Heard's testimony on the Johnny Depp trial. So stick around for that. And in between chapters, we smoke a joint and a cigarette and have a great conversation. So make sure to join chat. Hi, Ricky. Welcome. Tell your mom it's time to come see me. Well, actually, tell her to answer my text message. The poll has closed. Yeah, it did, Ricky. We'll just figure it out as we go. Don't even worry about it. Gotta fix my description of my video. Anyway, let's read chapter 5. And Moses called all the vampires and he said to them, "Hear, you terrible ass people, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your hearing today, that you may learn them and be careful to observe them. The Lord our God has made a covenant with us in Horeb. The Lord did not make his covenant with our fathers, but with us." That's a negative, Ghost Rider. The only reason he even likes you people is because Noah was his best friend. And then Abe was his best friend. And then Jake. And then Isaac. No, Isaac, then Jake. They were his best friends. I don't know what you're talking about. These people suck. Anyway. He made it here today with all of us who are alive. No. Negative. Negatory, Ghost Rider. That is also wrong. He made it with their father. Literally. Literally their fathers. And some of them their grandfathers. But yeah, he did not make it. No. Oh. Wait. Anyway. The Lord talked with you face to face on the mountain from the midst of fire. I stood between the Lord and you at that time to declare to you the word of the Lord. But you were afraid because of the fire, and you did not go near the mountain. And you said, "Oh," and he said, "I am," using God voice is what I'm doing.
I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me, mostly because I'm amazing. Look, check it. Amazing. You shall not make for yourselves a carved image, like a crucifix. Anyway, no carved image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven or above. You mean like Jesus, or that is in the earth beneath, or you mean like Moloch, or that is in the water. Oh, like what's his name? Titan, that guy. What's his name? It's the Little Mermaid's dad, or the Little Mermaid's dad. What is his name? It's that guy. Aquaman. It's that guy. Yeah, it's a good time. Are there people chatting or am I just welcome people? What's happening? Something is happening and no one knows. Okay, there. Okay. You shall not bow down to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, which is also my first name. I go by my middle name, Lord. My last name is God. I could go by that if I wanted to, but I don't think I'm old enough yet. So we're just going by my middle name. You know, because my first name is kind of intimidating because like jealous and well, actually my name is Jealous Lee, Lord God. Yeah, you see how I did that? Jealous Lee. That's so clever. I'm so clever. Anyway, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. That means lying on God, literally lying on God. Am I muted or something again? Damn it. Not again. Fine. Okay. Visiting the iniquity. Okay, keep my commandments. You shall not lie on God like a liar lying who lies. A lying liar who lies. I will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Observe the Sabbath because I haven't told you enough. Observe the Sabbath as the Lord God commanded you. And I'm not telling you how to do it again. I told you. Ever, okay. Honor your mother and your father as the Lord your God has commanded, that your days may be long and it may be well with you in the land which God gave you. You shall not murder. So there is no sanctuary city for murderers because you don't murder. Literally, you don't murder. Murdering is bad. So we don't murder. And there is no sanctuary city for a murderer. I am not a damn Democrat. Look, rules. I am all about rules. Kind of like a Republican. All about rules. Well, it's supposed to be, anyways. But there's a thing called rhinos who are scared of Democrats because they don't want to be unsubscribed from God's YouTube. So they stay scared all their life. Be about that life, motherfucker. Anyway. Okay. Keep the Sabbath. Honor. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness. Don't lie on your neighbor because that shit is totally bad. Do not covet. Don't want your neighbor's shit, man. Don't want what he has. Get your own. These words the Lord spoke to all your assembly in the mountain from the midst of fire and the cloud and the thick darkness with a loud voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone and gave them to me. He did that twice. Two time, Ten Commandment writer God. Yeah, 2 time. Okay. So it was when you heard the voice from the midst of the darkness while the mountain was burning that you came near me and you said, Surely God has shown us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice from the midst of fire. We have seen this day that God speaks with man. Yeah, we're still gonna steady talk shit and act like you don't exist. That's not what they said, but they should have. Hi, welcome, join the chat, and press like and subscribe and join the chat. Okay. Uh, Yet he still lives. Now there. Why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of God anymore, then we will die. For who is there of all flesh who has heard it and not died? You go near and hear all that God may say and tell us, and we will hear and do it. Then the Lord heard the voice of y'all talking shit, and he said, they are right in all they have spoken. Oh, that day had such a heart in them. Oh, that they had such a heart in them, that they would hear me and keep my commandments, that it might be well with them and with their children forever. Go and say to them, wait, what's happening? Okay, I'm doing some work. Okay, I'm doing some writing. Okay, and do my commandments, that it might be well with them and their children forever. Go and say, return to your tents. But as for you, stand behind me, and I will speak to you all the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments you shall teach them, that they may observe them in the land I am giving them to possess. Therefore, you shall be careful to do as the Lord your God commanded you. You shall not turn to the right or the left. You shall walk in all the ways which the Lord your God commanded, that you may live, that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days in the land which you shall possess. So, Ricky, while I'm in between chapters, what kind of work are you doing now? What's your new job? No? Okay. Well, then we'll go on to chapter 6. Man, where is everybody? Did we share this out? I'm an advertising manager. What the fuck does that do? I suppose I should have been shared this out. But you would figure people would know. But I guess maybe not. I don't know. What does an advertising manager do? Why wheel is he? He's supposed to be here. Oh, somebody pressed like. Was that you, Ricky? Thank you. Okay. What am I doing? This. Sharing. I should have shared this out already. Hey, Miss Muddy. Haha. I'm so glad you're here. Man, I just read chapter 5, but it's okay. Chapter 6 is a whole new thing. Will you share this out on the little thing you shared out on, Muddy? Did we? We might have. So I'm just taking a break in between chapters real quick. So, Muddy, how was your day? What's going on with you? Why can't I find my lighter? Damn, my lighter's really gone. That's terrible. Oh, be right back. All right. Thank you. Oh, there it is. Duh. You were like, it's behind you, Nikki. You idiot. Okay. Ricky, you said you invited your heavy metal friend? Ooh. Getting ready for a kids' rodeo next weekend. Oh, that sounds fun as hell. They have some kind of rodeo thing out here in Ohio. I don't know anything about it. Okay. So, uh, by mistake, but I doubt you so. Well, it's okay if he does show. I am totally metal. And also, I'm a juggalo. So, that counts for something. Oh,
I'm in God voice this whole time. Anyway, I do have one subscriber that subscribed only because of that juggalo thing. And it's like, I'm a juggalo. Okay. So, okay, what we just went over, Muddy, was he was telling him the 10 Commandments. So, we're going on to chapter 6. If you're following along, it's chapter 6 of Deuteronomy. Or Deuteronomy. Okay. So, chapter 6. Now, this is the commandment, and these are the statutes and judgments which God has commanded me to teach you, that you may observe them in the land which you are crossing over to possess, that you may fear the Lord your God and keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you. You and your son and your grandson, all the days of your life. All the days of your life? Maybe that's what I meant to say. All the days of your life. all the days. Okay. And that your days may be prolonged. Therefore, hear and be careful to observe it, that it may be well with you, and that you may multiply greatly as the Lord God of your fathers has promised you, a land flowing with milk and honey, water and oil. Hear the Lord our God. Wait, hold on 1 second. Hear the Lord our God. The Lord is one. And that's a Creed song. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. Mind should be in there also. All your heart, mind, and soul. Okay. Okay, I'm just okay. And these words which I command you today shall be in your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your teacher. Teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand. They shall be as frontlets between your eyes, so like a nose. You shall write them on doorposts of your house and on your gates. So it shall be when the Lord your God brings you to the land which he swore your fathers to Abe, Isaac, and Jacob to give you, large and beautiful cities which you did not build, houses full of all good things which you did not fill, hewn out wells you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees you did not plant. This is where that smelly ass Muslim Democrat ex-president from Kenya got that shit from. I can't. You didn't build that. You didn't build that. Yes, the fuck I did, bitch. Get over it. Look. My family comes from the prisoners that were brought over here to build that shit. Believe you me, I built that shit, son. Okay? I can't. I can't because that's where that sneaky Muslim ex-Muslim president from Kenya got this from, and it's bullshit. They use the Bible in a way that it shouldn't be used. Did anybody show up, or is anybody back? Muddy, are you back? Who's here? Roll call. Roll call. Okay. You shall fear the Lord your God and serve him, and shall take oaths in his name. You shall not go after gods, the gods of the people who are all around you, for Charlie is all around. For your for your Lord God's name is jealousy, and it doesn't say that. It just said God's jealous as shit, yo. So watch out. Lest the anger of the Lord your God be aroused against you, and destroy you from the face of the earth. You shall not tempt the Lord your God, as you tempted him in Massah. What? Okay. You shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord your God, his testimonies, his statutes, which he has commanded you, And you shall do what is right and good in the sight of the Lord, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to cast out all your enemies from before you, as the Lord has spoken. Yeah. Hi, Firefly. Haha. I miss you loads. How are you? Oh, don't forget to turn your chat to live chat. And thank God it's Friday indeed. Hi, Jasmine. Haha. So glad you guys are here. Hold on. Hold on. Where am I at in life? Teach him. Okay, right here. You shall not tempt the Lord your God as you tempted him at Massah. You shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord, his God, his testimonies, his statutes, which he has commanded. And you shall do what is right and good in the sight of the Lord, that it may be well with you, and that you may go possess the good land of which the Lord swore to Abe, Isaac, and Jake, to cast out all your enemies from before you, as the Lord has spoken. I probably already just read that. When your son asks you in time to come, saying, what is the meaning of this? Why do we do this? Listen. And then you say, because at one time we were slaves and shit was real bad. And then, like, God saved us and stuff. And then we talked a lot of mad shit. And then a lot of terrible things happened. And then, bam, we got this place. Yep, that's exactly how it happened. That's exactly what you tell them. You just say, it was some shit, man. Charlie's all around. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty. We were slaves and he brought us out of Egypt. And then there was Celebrate Dead Baby Day. We already know all this shit. Therefore, we do these things because God commanded us to. Because there was a whole lot of stuff that happened. And our punishment was to wander around the desert for 40 years. Well, actually, it was a wilderness. But that was a punishment, and we actually deserved that one because, we deserved it. So, everyone, welcome. So, we're going to go on to chapter 7, I think. Yeah, chapter 7. So, I want to say thank you, everybody, for popping in and watching. I appreciate it. Don't forget to press like and subscribe. We're in between chapters, so why don't you guys come hit this joint and the cigarette with me and take the small break before we get to chapter 7? Jasmine, how was your day? Muddy, how was your day? Ricky, how was your first day of work? What's happening? What did I do? Oh, there it is. Oh my God, traffic court. I hate, I hate the way people talk about traffic court. I've only ever been to regular court. I am actually doing really good. I asked my husband to bring home some milk, and his response was, "I'm getting pretzel pizza for dinner." And I was like, "That's almost as good as milk." Huh. Do the pretzel pizza from Little Caesars. Oh, that shit is life. I hid like 4 or 5 slices in the refrigerator so I could air fry them tomorrow. And I'm gonna eat them scorching ass hot. That shit's so good. Well, Firefly, before you go to bed, here, hit this joint. Give the pillow some head, the sheet some ass, and have the sweetest dreams ever. I love you so much. Oh shit. Hey, what is the weed situation like in Oklahoma? It was so good. Like if you get pulled over with weed in Oklahoma, how much prison time do you get? I'm asking because I want to know if I can go to Oklahoma or not. Because I know, like, people get life sentences for weed out west. You have to have a medical card. Sound weird. I think I can get one of those, no problem. Damn. I could probably get a medical card. Okay. Are you guys ready to go on to chapter 7? I need to stop opening cigarettes. I already have a cigarette right over there. So let's smoke this weed instead. All right, chapter 7. Okay. And then the Lord brings you into the land which you go to possess, and he has cast out many nations from before you, all of your cousins. You seven, no, you nations greater and mightier than you. And when the Lord your God delivers them over to you, you shall conquer them and utterly destroy them. You shall make no covenant with them, nor show mercy to them, nor shall you make marriage with them. You shall not give your daughters to You shall not give your daughters to your sons. No. Do not give your daughters to their son, nor take their daughters for your son. For they will turn your sons away from following me to serve other gods. Time out. Time out. You know how they say women should not teach religion? I will suffer no woman to teach me religion. Then how the fuck do men get turned away from God because they listen to their other women's about spiritual shit? If you're listening to a woman over spiritual shit, then you really don't give a fuck about your hate woman rules. I'm not a feminist. No, I am a real feminist. I am not no fake ass feminist that thinks my punani rules the world. I know my punani rule. My punani does not rule the world. It rules my house. Okay, I'm a real feminist. And this hate women bullshit, if a woman can turn you away from God, then she is way more important than y'all say she is. Right? I'm way too high to visit Oklahoma. Does an out of state medical card count? The holy city is the city of David. That is Zion. Wait till wait. Look, don't talk about that yet. We haven't even got there. Don't do that. Zion is the city of David. No, that's exactly what the book says. Zion is the city of David. Or the holy city of Jerusalem. I don't count the Vatican as a holy city. That is a fucking city of hell. I don't know, Miss Mudduck. I'm just talking shit. I don't even know what holy city you're talking about. But I do know I have no idea where we're at. Okay. Oh, yeah, don't take your daughters. For they will turn your sons away from folly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if women are so not important, then why is that a thing? Women are way more important than these motherfuckers say they are. Oh, well, that's some other shit. I don't know about that. Oh, yeah, Zion is the city of David. That's what I was talking about. See? I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. I need to shut the fuck up. But anyway, what about this man shit? They say women are not all that important, but God's like, if you do this shit, it's the women. The women are gonna make you not love God. But women are not that important, right? You can just beat them up and shit. Which God does not say that either. I'm talking about these people in Das Bible right now. They consider women to be what the fuck ever. I don't know. But this right here is saying the women are going to make you turn from God. But these people are already thinking some kind of different way about women. Did we read what happens? They can't go to church when they're on their period. Have we read that part yet? Yeah, when they're on their period, they can't even stand up. Yep, it's a thing. Oh my God. And have we done the part about, look, we're about to get into some shit. Because, man, I remember we're about to get into some shit. There's a whole lot of stuff we haven't even read about. And I'm just talking out of my ass because y'all have no idea what I'm even talking about. And that's what I get for breathing. Listen. Are you proud of that, Miss Muddy? It's okay. I've only lost 3 pounds since I've been doing nothing. So, anyway. Okay. Okay. The anger of the Lord will be aroused against you and destroy you suddenly. But thus you shall deal with them. You shall destroy their altars, break their sacred pillars, cut down their images, and burn their carved images with fire. For you are a holy people to the Lord. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a people for himself, a special treasure above all peoples on the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love on you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any other people. You were the least of all people, but because the Lord loves you, he would keep the oath which he swore to your fathers. The Lord has brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you from the house of bondage. Therefore, know the Lord your God is God, the faithful God, who keeps his covenant and mercy for 1,000 generations with those who love him. Those that love and keep his commandments, and he repays those who hate them. No, he repays those who hate him to their face, cause say with your chest, to destroy them. He will not be slack with him who hates him. He will repay him to his face, cause he says it with his chest. Yeah, the fuck he did. Fucking right. Yeah, look at me. Look at him. Yeah. God looks you right in the eyes and is like, blink. Got that ass. Yeah. He doesn't give a shit. He gives no fuck. Yeah. Therefore, you shall keep the commandment, the statutes, and the judgments, which I command you today, to observe them. Shit, dude, I hit my hand way too hard. Why did I do that? Man, that was painful. I just did that. Oh, where'd everybody go? Where'd everybody go? This strep throat is kicking my ass. This strep throat is killing me. Okay. So, okay. Therefore, know he is God. Okay. Then it shall come to pass, because you listen to these judgments and do them, that the Lord your God will keep the covenant and the mercy which he swore to your fathers, and he will love and bless you and multiply you. He will also bless the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your land, your grain, your new wine, your oil, the increase of your cattle, and the offspring of your flock, and the land which he swore to your fathers to give you. You shall be blessed above all people. There shall not be a male or female born among you or your livestock. And the Lord will take away from you all sickness, and will afflict you with none of the terrible diseases of Egypt, which you have known, but will lay them on all those who hate you. Also, you shall destroy all the people whom the Lord your God delivers over to you. Your eye shall have no pity on them, nor shall you serve their gods, for that will be a snare to you. Dun, dun, dun. I know there's a couple of people here. I want to know where everybody went. Okay. If you should say in your heart, these nations are greater than I, how can I dispossess them? Well, you just take over their government, and then all of their communist programs. You just take them over, and then before you know it, they just implode. It's kind of what happened to the Roman Empire. It's kind of what's happening to the American capitalist system. These vampire people happen to take over the government and these communist programs, and they're imploding the US from the inside out, kind of like they did to Rome. It's almost exactly like they did to Rome. And nobody notices it because when you notice it, it's anti Semitic. Even though it's true, I'm not exactly anti Semitic, must be too true to be true. Something like that. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. You shall not be afraid of them, but you shall remember well what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and to all of Egypt, the Roman Empire, and America. The great trials your eyes saw, the signs and the wonders, the mighty hand and the outstretched arm, because God's only got one arm for some reason, by which the Lord your God brought you out. So shall the Lord your God do to all the people whom you are afraid, even if it's pretend. Moreover, the Lord your God will send the hornet among them until those who are left who hide themselves from you are destroyed. You shall not be terrified of them, for the Lord your God, the great and awesome God, is among you. And the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you, little by little, government office by government office. Yeah, it's a thing that's happened. Something. Okay. Or left destroyed little by little. You will be unable to destroy them at once, lest the beasts of the field become too numerous for you. But the Lord your God will deliver them over to you and will inflict defeat upon them until they are destroyed. And he will deliver their kings into your hand, and you will destroy their name from under heaven. No one shall be able to stand against you until you have destroyed them. You shall burn the carved images of their gods with fire. You shall not covet the silver of gold that is on them, nor take it for yourselves, lest you be snared by it. For it is an abomination to the Lord your God, nor shall you bring an abomination into your house, lest you be doomed to destruction like it. You shall utterly detest and utterly arbor it, for it is an accursed thing. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. So is anybody still here? Because we're done. Yeah, we're done. Do you wanna watch some Amber Heard? Where's Feather? Jasmine? I think Jasmine's in bed. Miss Mud Duck's in bed. Oh, maybe they quit talking because I was interrupting their holy city thing. Do you want to watch some Amber Stone? Amber Stone. Some Amber Heard. I should look for it just in case you do, right? I know what's happening. I'm a happy retard. And I know where we left off yesterday. I think. Hold on. We're at day 14. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, it's time to give your pillows some head and your sheets some ass and have these sweetest dreams ever. I love you so much. Let's do this. Bam.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. Your next question.
Thank you, Your Honor. Amber, I'm going to take you up to March of 2013. Can you describe your relationship with Mr. Depp during that month? And I'll start there.
I remember that was after a period of some peace, and then in sobriety. Johnny was sober, drinking Beck's, and my dad, who was struggling with alcohol and drug addiction at the time, had fallen off the wagon, and I remember he said, "Why don't we I want to send a picture to your dad of support," because my sister was upset with my dad, and so he poured a shot and kind of said, "Let's take a picture." I don't drink spirits, but I know that, I kind of held up in that picture. It's kind of eerie because I just think it's bizarre. He had broken this long period of sobriety that I thought was going to be the end of him drinking forever. Sounds foolish now, but I held up this kind of glass with him, and we sent the picture to my dad because I didn't know what else to do. And I remember thinking it was weird that he was drinking, and then the month got really crazy from that point on. It was a bit of a revolving door of accusations. He was accusing me of having affairs with, frankly, just one person. I had an acquaintance with somebody, and he was accusing me of being with them, and then he was accusing me of being with my friend, the one I had seen in Spain. I'm in these kind of arguments, nothing I do is working. Walking out of the room is me leaving him, walking away from me. Hey, where are you going? I'm talking to you. It went from that to pulling me in by my arm, still shouting about the accusations. I'm trying to diffuse the situation by trying to tell him I'm not sleeping with this person and I'm not sleeping with that person. And it was kind of, as soon as it seemed as though I had convinced him of one, there was somebody else he was sure I was sleeping with. And it was a revolving door at the time. A painting I had hanging on the wall, done by my ex, who's an artist. That was, one day he was convinced that was proof I was sleeping with her or having an affair with her. I didn't really love him. And all the while I'm madly in love with him and trying to convince him. So March started with this picture of him doing a shot, and he's kind of saying, let's send it to your dad to show support. And what I remember of March is just like it's almost like it was a never-ending fight. It was just, there were breaks in it. What kept me in it is because I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, the sobriety shoe, if you will. I kept waiting for him to get to the point where it's not supportable or anymore, and he's done with it and he's ready to get clean and sober again, because there commences a period of like pure joy. And it was one fight after the other, March.
So let me start with the painting incident. Please tell the jury what happened on that particular incident with the painting.
As I mentioned, the painting, which had been hanging there for months, one day he kind of stayed up doing cocaine, just drinking, doing cocaine, music, which is not
really. Man, that's fucking funny. That is actually really funny. Hold on. I'm sorry.
in and of itself that weird in my relationship with Johnny at this point, like he stays up and keeps weird hours and smokes and stuff. But he was drinking brown liquor and doing a lot of cocaine, and it was like, it became clear to me in that argument, if you will, that he wasn't making sense. He had effectively just taken, it seemed like, a turn and had decided that the painting was an offense that he could not forgive me for. It meant I was having an affair with my ex-partner, with whom I had already split, and it made no sense to me. So I'm trying to kind of quell the accusations by saying, it's been there, and what are you talking about? And it's like, that doesn't mean anything. And, he was demanding I take it down. He eventually takes it down and tries to burn it, but it was unsuccessful, luckily, because he was not, he wasn't with one of those normal, what do you call them, Bic lighters. He wasn't very successful at doing it while drinking, to the extent he was. But I remember it was this kind of ridiculous fight, like didn't feel like it needed to be an argument, but it seemed like nothing I could do, nothing I could say. I tried leaving. I left the room. I left the house. I eventually came back. It was like a whole night, an evening, a night, and then a morning of this. So this morning in particular, I think it was like 22nd of March. There were several incidents in March, though. But in this particular one, he had something to go to. He was filming with Keith Richards and Tom Waits.
Well, let me, before you go into that part, let's pull up Defendant's Exhibit 161, which is already admitted into evidence, I believe, Your Honor.
Yes, 161 with redactions.
Thank you. And I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit 161. And the date on this is 3/12/2013, and it's a text exchange between you and Mr. Depp. Do you see that?
I do.
Okay. And the first one is from you, Mr. Depp. Just thought you should know there exists a book. Is that to you? Is it to Mr. Depp from you, or it's vice versa? Isn't it?
It's Johnny texting me.
Just thought you should know there exists a book titled Disco Bloodbath. And then you say, we need that book. And you say, is this about last Friday night by any chance? And he says, how can you make me smile about such a hideous moment? And I'm not going to repeat the rest of it. Could you tell the jury what happened on that Friday night?
That's about having sex on her period. That's what that is.
There were, like I said, there was a few different incidents in March. I believe this one happened in the Eastern Columbia building, which are one of Johnny's penthouses. They're in downtown, so a different part of Los Angeles. And we'd sometimes go there. I remember he was accusing me again of sleeping with this this musician who I'd never slept with. I was denying it. I barely knew the person. And then he was accusing me of sleeping with my friend in Spain. And I remember nothing I could do. He called this person on the phone and screamed at him. He didn't speak English, so he was really confused as to what he was being yelled at by Johnny. but I remember those are the accusations. That was the fight. But it was one to the next
Where's
accusation.
proof?
And I remember I was kind of doing that juggling act. I was in one of these fights. I believe it's this one in his downtown ECB. We call it loft, and we're in the kitchen living room area. And he backhands me, and it was he wears a lot of rings. I remember kind of just feeling like my lip went into my teeth, and it got a little blood on the wall. Just that simple, a little bit of blood on the wall. As hard as it is, to explain this, I was so caught up in the relationship and also very occupied in defending what I only could assume he believed, these accusations, that I didn't internalize, I didn't make that big of a deal of it. I kind of pride myself on being tough, and I don't make a big deal out of smaller injuries. And I know that sounds horrible and hard maybe to understand, but my best way to cope with it is I kind of, minimize it, make sure no one, make sure he knows that I'm tough and can't knock me down, and I make a joke of it, clearly. Make light.
What do you mean clearly?
I'm going to, Michelle, if you can take this one down and bring up 170.
A little bit of blood on the wall is not anything near a disco blood bath. I wish she would knock it off. She should quit.
Did there come
Of course she was duh, it's on camera.
time in March?
I mean, not duh to you, but it's duh.
Remember where you sent a picture to your mom?
Yes, this is sometime in March 2013. I sent it to her because I'd been texting about some of the craziness, and
Objection, hearsay. I'll sustain as to what she may have texted. All right, next question.
Without saying what you said in the text, explain why you were sending it to your mom.
It's a book, but I believe, and a lot of other people believe, she started her period while they were having sex. Something like that.
I was reaching out. I was very lonely in what I was living in, and I wanted help. I wanted advice, help. I just wanted to talk to somebody and figure out how I could make this stop.
And is this a picture that you took of yourself in March of 2013?
I did.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of Defendant's Exhibit 170A.
Any objection?
No objection, Your
All right,
Honor.
170A in evidence. You can publish the picture.
Thank you, Your Honor. And how did you sustain that bruise, Amber?
I had thrown Johnny slapped me. I walked away from him, and that made it worse. We got into a shouting match. And he kind of did this thing with his body where I could tell he was going to hit me again. I picked up I remember it kind of like a little pot, not a pot, but like a vase. And I remember I got away from him enough as he reels back. I threw it in his direction and actually managed to get away before he got me. He grabbed me by the arm, and he kind of just held me on the floor, screaming at me. I don't know how many times he hit me in the face, but I remember being on the floor of my apartment, and I remember thinking, how could this happen to me again?
Can you bring up 170? Thank you, Michelle. And if we can, and just to start, it's at 3/23/2013. And if we can scroll up. This is a text message exchange with your mom, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's go. Scroll down a minute.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to hearsay.
Let's wait until we get to the spot. All right, and is this the picture that you sent to your mom on 3/23/2013?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of 170, just that picture that's on the text.
No words?
Well, it says from 2 weeks ago on it.
Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
If we redact the from 2 weeks ago, can we admit it then? And then just have the showing that she sent it to her mom?
Maybe
for the
approach,
date?
Your Honor.
Okay. All right, 170 will be in evidence with redaction.
Smells like a full water flood.
And may we publish to the jury, please? And that's the picture you sent to your mom
Yes, it is.
on March 23rd, 2013?
Yes, it was from a previous fight,
Okay.
the bruise.
All right. Now, did you have any other altercations in March 2013 with Mr. Depp?
Yes, we had a couple of these fights in Orange that were around this time, one of which I started to tell you about the painting.
You know, and I know I've interrupted you now twice on that, but I realize the jury doesn't. Can you tell them what you mean by orange, at Orange?
Sorry, Orange was my apartment that I kept in Los Angeles at the time.
And it was an apartment. What type of an apartment?
I rented the top of a duplex, so it was a house with a landlord living on the bottom floor. I rented the top floor.
Okay, thank you. Now, please continue with the painting. I'm sorry.
It seemed like nothing I could say to Johnny would convince him. He wanted me to remove the painting. And he wanted me to admit to this affair that I wasn't having. And
That you were
I
having.
didn't want to admit to it because it's not true. So I held out and he just drank more and did more cocaine. And I woke up the next morning, I think it was on the 22nd or the 23rd. I woke up in the morning and the breakfast table was like cocaine and booze. And I realized that I wasn't going to be able to talk I wasn't going to be able to talk our situation down. I wasn't going to be able to talk him out of it. And he was just so convinced I was
your way out of it, you mean?
fighting with him or at the reason that he wouldn't leave the house and he had something to go film that was important and there were important people waiting for him. And I remember people were reaching out, his assistants, his manager, sister, everyone was wondering where he was. And I kept feeling embarrassed and unable to move this person out of my house. I couldn't calm him down. I couldn't change. He was just so intent on me admitting the details of this affair that I wasn't having. And me pointing out that the cocaine wasn't making his situation any better made me the bad cop. Then I'm the nag. So eventually I called my sister. He had a kind of a buddy-buddy relationship with her at the time. And at the time, she occasionally did cocaine. I didn't, but she did. So I was like, hey, come take over. Maybe you can buddy him and talk him into leaving the house, just getting out of the house. And she.
What does she mean she doesn't do cocaine? What? I believe that like 0% of the time. No, she's in lust. She's in lust with him.
I remember his assistants trying to get him out. Like eventually in the evening, I think early evening, he finally agrees to leave, but I can't tell our relationship status. I can't tell if he still is convinced of these things or if he's just going to sleep it off and it's going to go back to normal sobriety, sorry kind of phase. And he was still upset, but like seemingly calming down. So I agreed to go with him. He wanted me to go to the shoot. I had plans, so I kind of reluctantly agreed, but didn't want to set anything off. I didn't want to engage anymore. I didn't want to do anything that could be perceived as antagonizing him or engaging more. So I went with him. We grabbed the dogs. We get in the car. We're on the way there. We're headed up. Sweetser is the street. It's a major street that leads up to Johnny's houses. He effectively owns the end of the street. It's like a cul-de-sac. So we're nowhere near his home, but we were driving up the street, and he has the window down. He's smoking. It wasn't all the way down, but he's constantly smoked. At some point, he starts howling out of the window, and then grabs two. Well, one was Johnny's dog, and one was my dog. But he grabs, if I remember correctly, Boo, his dog, slightly chunkier teacup Yorkie, and he grabs this teacup Yorkie and holds Boo out of the window of the moving car. And he's howling like an animal while holding the dog out of the window. And everyone in the car, I'll never forget it, everyone just froze. No one did anything. And I too was like torn as to what I should do, because I didn't want to do anything to cause him to react, drop the dog. It was just this eerie moment where he's howling and holding this animal outside of the car window. And more than that weird memory is I have a memory of everyone just kind of not really reacting to him. Like no one really kind of did anything. I eventually kind of pulled his arms gently back into the vehicle and kind of got the dog back on the seat, and we continued driving, but no one reacted. It just kind of avoided dealing with it. We get to the house where he was filming this thing that he was late for, I suppose, for the day. And we walk in. Meanwhile, I've been bombarded by text messages and calls and conversations with everyone seemingly so stressed about.
Objection, hearsay.
Just don't tell us what somebody else said, just what you observed.
I understood everyone was stressed. They seemed stressed to me about the tardiness. Where is he? Let's get him there, so we get him there. And no one reacts when we get in. I mean, we walk into this house where everyone was waiting for him, and everyone smiles and says, hey, boss.
Objection, hearsay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's, Michelle, can we pull up 167A? I think is B the one that's in? 167B is already in, right? It's A. Okay, then go ahead and pull up A. Does Your Honor show that one to be in 167A? Defendants. Sorry.
Well, this might be your 167A, but it's an evidence. It's a plaintiff's number. I'm not sure which plaintiff's number it is. I don't need it in twice, so.
I would agree.
Your Honor, I don't think it's this version of the photograph that's been admitted. So it's a
different version.
It's a
Same
different
photograph, but a little different. Is that what we're?
It's not the same photograph.
Okay, not the same.
All right, well,
photograph. Then we'll go with it. What number is it?
Do you recognize this photo?
Yes, I do.
Please tell the jury what it is.
Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Press like and subscribe and chat in the chat. There are people in there waiting to talk to you.
A picture I took of my breakfast table that morning.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of Defendant's Exhibit 167A.
167A. Any objection?
Your Honor, may we approach?
Sure. (67A) is an evidence you can publish.
So may we publish that? Thank you, Your Honor. Okay. And Amber, you said that you took this that morning? Is that
Yes.
correct? Could you tell the jury what the box is that has the property with the skull bones, property of JD?
That's Johnny's drug box. I've seen it used for pills, but at the time it was bags of Coke, like bags of Coke.
Okay. And what are these white lines on the table to the left of that box?
That is cocaine.
Okay. And do you know what is in these two glasses that have kind of a gold colored liquor?
Yes, they're different. Actually, it's confusing. They're different, different liquids. The one in the back in the larger glass is, I believe, at the time I was doing these tabs, or Baroka, that's what they're called. They're little tablets. And anyway, I remember at the time that's what I was putting in my water because I just come back from France where they sell them. And then the brown liquid in the shot glass is Johnny's liquor. I don't know what it's called, but we kept it in the freezer. At the time, it was at that time, March 2013, I hadn't, I still didn't have the, hard line. I won't even keep that, in my freezer sort of attitude or posture with him. I wasn't that bold at the time, I didn't like it, but I didn't have that strength. I kind of, at that time, I think, was doing things I trained for when I could.
So what is the brown bag on the left side? What is that?
That's a DOP kit. It's his prescriptions and cigarette, tobacco, weed, things like that.
Okay, and then above it there appears to be a CD of some sort, DVD, something. Do you recognize that?
Yes, it's the single, I believe is what it's called, the single he was making at the time. I think that's the song that they were filming a video for, if I'm correct.
Okay. All right. Now, did you end up sending a copy of this picture to Rocky Pennington that day?
I did. I sent it to my best friend at the time, and it was like morning.
Objection, hearsay.
Okay, you can't say what you said, but you sent it to your friend, correct? Let's go to 167, please. And is that the email in which you sent this picture to Rocky Pennington on 3/22,
Yes.
2013? Your Honor, I'd like to move the admission of the picture with the redaction of the message on it, with the top with identifier redactions, and we take out the rest of it.
Oh, all right. Any objection?
No objection.
All right, so I'm going to do this redactions, 167 in evidence with redactions.
All right. And may we publish, please? All right. And is this the email that you sent to Rocky with this?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to take you to, let's go to Hicksville.
At the end of this, when this is over in like 45 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. So we got 40 minutes.
Let's tell the jury about Hicksville, 2013. Can you tell the jury what transpired at Hicksville?
It's a fancy trailer park, like a little hotel in the middle of nowhere, set up with these little trailers, and we had made a plan to go there with friends, and we were going to do, like laffy, as we said, laffy drugs, like mushrooms, eat mushrooms, sit by a campfire. There's really not a whole lot to do out there. It's like a getaway. We had made this plan, and going fine. It was like a, kind of like a party out in the desert with a few friends, campfire and music, and I don't know who somebody brought MDMA. It was being passed around, and somebody who took it kind of was starting to feel the effects of it, I guess is the best way to describe. She kind of reacted in this way where when the MDMA hit her, she kind of, we were sitting around a campfire, all of us, and she kind of just leaned into me, hit on my shoulder, and kind of grabbed my arm. I took it, to.
Do you want me to unspeed it up? Here, I'll unspeed it up.
Be the effects of the drug. And a mushroom cap, but was not feeling anything at the time. I don't remember feeling anything because the night just kind of changed pretty dramatically before I really felt anything of the effects of that. But that was the environment we were in, and as soon as she did this thing where she leaned into me, he gets really activated. He gets really upset, and he starts. Well, at first she thought he was kidding. We all did. Everyone kind of responded at first, you know, that it was a joke. But he was like, "Hey, man, what are you doing? You know, what do you think you're doing?" And she giggled and kind of leaned into me more, and I knew in my body just instantly that it wasn't a. She didn't. So she's kind of still attached to my arm when he says it again to her louder. He says, "Hey man, you think you're touching my fucking girl? You think you're touching my fucking girl? That's my fucking girl." And he gets louder, louder, and she kind of did this thing, half understanding what was going on. I think she kind of started to cry at this point, but she kind of threw up her hands, and Johnny grabbed her wrist and kind of twisted it and pulled her into him and said, "Do you know how many pounds of pressure it takes to break?"
True. Because she's out. I think when you act something out, it did happen, but she might be over exaggerating a whole lot of it. But didn't he say he did do that? Right? He did do, but it wasn't like they say. Okay.
A human wrist. Huh? And he kind of held her, and she just looked frozen. And she's crying, and was just denying understanding what was going on. I stepped in. I kind of take Johnny's arm around, kind of take Johnny's hand, and kind of we start communicating. I don't remember if he immediately was accusing me or if it was sometime after. I wish I remembered, but we agreed that we'd go and talk about it in the trailer. So we walked to the trailer, and when we're in the trailer, Johnny, by the time we get into the trailer, Johnny tells me that I had been instigating the, asking for this, and that I had invited it, and that I hadn't been honest with him about my relationship with this woman, and not to.
Exactly. She brought it and she started it. And she was probably all up in it. And this probably happened with this girl a couple times a day. And Johnny finally got sick of it because they're all about to take them laffy pills that she called them. Sounds more reasonable. She's been doing this shit all day.
I didn't really know her that well. I mean, I had met her.
And I was gonna sleep with her.
I remember in the trailer, he's accusing me of lying about it, and that I had something with her. I'm trying to diffuse that. He just turned all that onto the trailer itself, and he just started smashing things. He picked up something on the table and threw it right into the glass cabinet. He hit with his hand a wall sconce. He cleared the tabletop on the little fold down dining room area in this trailer. I mean, a trailer. So there's only so much you can do and he's screaming at me, screaming at me. And I eventually go back into the bedroom area. He comes into the bedroom area. We have what I can only describe as it sounded like nonsense from him. It wasn't making sense. And I realized that he's just probably really high, because it wasn't making sense anymore. It wasn't like a direct accusation. He wasn't hearing me when I was saying I wasn't involved, wasn't cheating on him. I wasn't secretly trying to engage this woman in some sort of sexual affair. And then it became clear to me he was like looking for something. He cleared things off the bed. I went into the bathroom, and as I come out, he asked me where it is and how long I've been hiding it. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he says, you know what I'm fucking talking about. You know what I'm fucking talking about. Be honest with me. Where are you hiding it? And he kind of like makes to look into the bathroom. And I gestured to the bathroom, which was to my right. I kind of like gestured to him, and I said, like, what am I hiding and where am I gonna hide it? And we're standing in this little hallway area outside of the bathroom, and he starts, what feels like patting me down or saying he's patting me down. I can't recall, but he ripped my dress, the strap top part of my dress. I had just dyed this thing myself pink, and it's just one of those things. I was like, I just finished that dress, and he's like grabbing my breasts, he's touching my thighs, he rips my underwear off, and then he proceeds to do a cavity search. He said he was looking for his drugs, his cocaine, his coke. I was wondering how somebody who didn't do cocaine and was against it, that was in and of itself causing problems in our relationship. How could I hide? Why would I hide his drugs from, like he was insinuating that I was doing it or something? It made no sense. And he was telling me we're gonna conduct a cavity search, shall we? Like, just shoved his fingers inside me.
What?
I just stood there staring at the stupid light. I didn't know what to do. I just stood there. While he did that, he twisted his fingers around. I didn't say like stop or anything.
So the next morning, what transpired?
I remember thinking that Johnny would change his mind. And it would be, I thought it would end differently. I kind of froze. I don't know how we went to bed that night. I don't know how I went to bed. I don't know how.
Johnny right now is thinking about how to make a movie. Look at him. He's like a better actress.
I don't know how we woke up. I don't remember having a conversation with him the next day. I don't remember talking to him about it or confronting him about it. I remember wanting it to be okay. I remember just wanting whatever fucking weird trip, whatever trip that was to end, just to be over and for it to just go back to normal. And I remember my friends were out by the pool. Like there was a pool in the center of the trailer park, and I remember putting on my, just putting my face and going back into this like crap, and I remember seeing my friends by the pool thinking they were just having a great time, and no one knew what was, I felt so lonely, like no one knows everyone was just having a good time, like normal stuff. So I just smiled and made a joke about how trashed the trailer got, and we had to get the manager, who started off furious that Johnny had wrecked the thing. And then he had this like black mesh not tank top, it was like a meshy kind of shirt on. And I remember he came into the trailer and looked around and was like, whoa, what happened here? Whoa. And Johnny had an exchange with him. And I remember watching this man be so charmed. It was just a kind of a surreal experience, and it just went away. That just got fixed. We walked out of the trailer at some point. My dog stepped on a bee. We went to the vet and went on with our vacation. We actually went to another location after that, and then eventually went home and went about our life.
I'm going to ask you to take a look. Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 176?
Why would you have to go to the vet if your dog stepped on a bee?
The next bill was in May of 2013. Did there come a time that you wrote an email?
Objection, leading, and hearsay, Your Honor. May we approach?
All right.
This is wild. Okay. Can I speed this up again? Oh, no.
My
Oh,
soulmate is
hey.
cure him body much.
Okay. Oops, I didn't realize I had it paused that whole time.
In June 2013, how were you feeling about your relationship with Mr. Depp?
May we have the exhibit taken away from?
Sure.
Thank you.
By June, I was so torn. I was so in love with this person because when it was good, it was so good. You've never felt love like that. At least that's how it felt. So much. I felt like he recognized me and I recognized him, and there was just something there that he was the love of my life. And he was. He was. But he was also this other thing. He was also this other thing.
One more
And then
time.
everything was awful, awful thing that would come out and take over. And it was, you couldn't see the Johnny I loved underneath it. It was this other thing. And no one told him. No one was honest with him. No one, he'd pass out in his own vomit. He'd lose control of his body,
Not true.
He'd lose control, and everyone would clean up after him. I cleaned up after him. I mean, this man lost control of his bowels, and I cleaned up after him. His security cleaned up after him, changed his pants in front of me. He would pass out in his own sick. And then he'd walk around saying he didn't have a problem. Until he did. Until I couldn't support it anymore, and he'd get clean, and he'd get sober, and then he was this thing again. This thing that made me feel so loved, that made me feel like...
I thought the thing was bad.
like my soulmate, as cheesy as that sounds, I just felt like he knew me. And I recognized something in him, either some part of my makeup and my background or something, that I just got it. And I loved him and understood him. It just got so scary, the other part of him. And
I thought that
in
was
June,
the
I
good
wanted
part.
to leave him. I didn't want to leave him. I wanted to leave him. I wanted him to get better. And he expressed to me so many times when he was in that period of getting clean and sober, he would tell me, "You saved my life. Baby girl, you saved my life." Everyone else was saying that to me, and I believed it. If everyone else was saying it, he was saying it. I thought, just like his other friends who had gotten clean and sober and stayed that way, his older friends, these rock stars that he hung out with that had gotten clean and sober and they had 20, 30 years, something, I thought, and Johnny told me he would be that person, that he was going to be that person, and I believed it. I had so much, I looked at that man twice my age, I was 25, looking at this man twice my age, and I saw hope and promise. I had so much hope. The whole thing, kids and growing old together, sort of hope. If it was just for this one thing that he could do, which would save his life, which would be to get clean and sober. And I believed it. And I wrote this letter to myself, among many letters to myself.
Objection,
because I
hearsay.
thought,
All she did was refer to that she wrote it. She isn't saying what she said.
I'll rule for that.
Thank you.
Okay. I wrote that letter because I thought it would be read to him. I could read it to him. I could say it to him in intervention, in help. And he would later thank me for, as he used to thank me all the time for saving his life.
Did there come a time later in June that you finally met Johnny's kids?
I'm sorry.
I hate her.
Yeah, I finally met them in the summer of 2013. I'd been with Johnny for over a year, maybe a year and a half at this point, is my best guess. And I was dying to meet them, dying to get to know these kids. I felt like I knew them already. I had his daughters, and Jack's, both of his kids' art on my fridge, and I had never even met them. Johnny had brought them over one day, kindly given them to me, and I had them up on my fridge because I felt like I knew them, just how much he talked about them. And I finally got to meet them at the Lone Ranger premiere at Disneyland, summer 2013.
So then I'm going to jump to, and it's not much of a jump, to June 26, 2013. There was a plane ride to Russia with Johnny. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Well, tell the jury about that particular event.
Well, that was the first and last time I ever decided it would be a decent idea to do drugs with Johnny. I did MDMA did MDMA with him on the plane, which was as stupid as it may sound. I just had never, I was very against, obviously the cocaine had been a problem. I was very much against him using cocaine. I was against the drinking, supportive of the sobriety, but I'm 26 maybe, ish. And I wanted, I had never heard of anyone making MDMA, what I had
I had done MDMA before. I thought it's a lovey drug. It's it's like a kind of, I never knew anyone to get violent on it. And, I thought, well, this is a relatively contained environment. Maybe this will be different. Maybe I can be a good cop and be part of the, I don't have to be the lesbian camp counselor all the time, as you would say. I can maybe be the fun girlfriend. And I learned the hard way that was not happening.
So what happened?
Well, we took MDMA. I took a capsule. It's like a powder in a capsule. I took a capsule, and Johnny took several. I didn't count, but it's very different when you see someone take one versus a handful of something. But nothing seemed to set any alarm bells off, and things were going fine until the flight attendant got involved. The flight attendant came by, was engaging with us. I don't think that they're really. It felt like it was before the effects of the drug took over. So it was relatively quick, soon after we first took our dose, if you can say. And the flight attendant, Johnny offered her some. She of course said no. And then after some back and forth between them, Johnny convinced her that it would be fine. So she acquiesced and took MDMA with us. And within a few minutes go by, and the same thing happened that happened on the mushrooms at Hicksville with the woman Kelly Sue, who I've told you about. Flight attendant got friendly, but just friendly, just like MDMA friendly. Was kind of, I'm a woman, he's a man, so she was naturally, I think, more comfortable with me physically. She kind of leaned into me and kind of sat on the arm of the chair I was sitting in. I mean, after all, she's on drugs, and Johnny
thought that Johnny is sneaky. Did you notice what he did? He wanted to get that other girl a high so she would be all over him and make her jealous. But when that didn't work out, that got all up in Johnny's head. Oh, I see.
grabs her hand and tells her not to touch me, and she kind of reacts in a way like she's trying to clarify, and he grabbed her by the wrist and slammed it down on the table and told her he could break her wrist. And I remember thinking, I've heard this before. And that was a pattern that would repeat itself a few times. These things would happen in these kind of cycles where there'd be a certain element that would get filtered for a while, whether it's an accusation or a gesture, and that would be the thing that he looped on. I called it.
All right. Good night, Ricky.
And he grabs her wrist and he tells her he can break her wrist.
Some ass
She
and have
cries instantly, denies it, is
ever.
so apologetic.
Jasmine, are you sticking around for the next half hour?
Eventually, he lets go. She goes in front of the plane where the flight attendant, normally hangs out, and the doors close. And I don't see her much of that whole flight. We land in Russia, and I don't really remember, I don't recall any violence on the plane between Johnny and I, but I remember feeling this tension because I was wondering when it was gonna aim at me, because he had this particular thing about, well, at the time I understood he had a particular thing, a sensitivity about me and women, because I had a female partner. So I was feeling nervous, anxious, and I remember we had a very quiet ride, at least I didn't say anything, to the hotel. And almost as soon as we get into the hotel room, Johnny's accusing me of effectively having engaged that, caused that. I, of course, deny it, point out what I thought was obvious, that, we'd given her drugs. Wasn't an affair, wasn't, and I'm trying to argue and defend myself at the same time. And at one point, Johnny just shoves me, shoves me hard. And I fall back onto this glass table. I catch myself on the table. I don't know how some furniture got knocked around. There was I'm trying to stand up for myself. I'm trying to stand up, literally. I'm not, at this point, I don't even try to hit back or try to run. I'm in this hotel room trying to do my best to fight mostly the verbal accusations, but also I try to stay on my feet, At some point, Johnny whacks me in the face And I don't remember feeling pain or like awareness of my nose or anything. I don't remember thinking that. I remember kind of crying and feeling, I went into the bathroom and I wanted him to have I just remember wanting him to realize what had happened. I wanted him to kind of snap out of it. I wanted him to care. I wanted him to realize what was going on, because a big part of this, I felt like he wasn't aware. There was a sense that he didn't know what was going on. You know, again, I don't know how much of the drugs or alcohol is a part of this, but I remember crying. I came out at some point because I don't hear him in that room. I remember we had been arguing in the main room, but I went out to the hallway, which is where I presume he walked out, and his bodyguard, Jerry Judge, was in the hall. And I don't recall seeing Johnny in the hallway, but I remember seeing Jerry Judge, who gestured to my
Objection,
nose.
hearsay.
She's just saying gesture. He hasn't said anything yet.
All right, gesture's fine. I'll overrule the objection. He gestures to my nose and holds out his handkerchief, like a cloth handkerchief. And I instantly felt really embarrassed. I felt ashamed. I don't know how else to describe it. I just felt like just really embarrassing. And I went inside the room.
What, if any, injury did you have?
I had a little blood coming out of my nose. I didn't know it. I didn't feel it at the time until Jerry let me know.
Okay.
And I went inside the hotel room, and as embarrassing as it is, I remember just wanting Johnny to say sorry. I wanted him to realize it. It's so stupid, but I like the emotional part. You know, I just wanted him to acknowledge that this was that he could hurt me, you know, and I wanted it to be okay. I didn't want him to think I was interested in this flight attendant. I didn't want him to think that I would capable of cheating on him. I was in love with him. I just wanted things to be okay.
Let's take you to July 9, 2013. Did there come a time that you went to the Bahamas and went on a ride for the yacht with Johnny and his kids?
Well, it's less like we flew out to the Bahamas to his island. He was selling the yacht to J.K. Rowling, and he wanted to kind of have a goodbye trip on the yacht. So it was docked off the island, and I went with him and his kids, who I had quickly developed a bond with and loved. And we brought a friend along with us, I think, to kind of help. And yeah.
Okay. Tell the jury what happened on that trip.
Johnny was upset that he had to sell the boat, and he was off the wagon again, but he didn't want to tell his kids, so he was hiding it from them. He was putting it in coffee cups and drinking, and the behavior just kind of like, he was upset, he was emotional, and it just that's how he dealt with it, just drink. But there's just no off button with Johnny. So he just kept drinking, and the behavior kept getting more obviously drunk. And Lily Rose, his daughter at the time, was young, just like maybe 14. And she started to get panicky and started asking me questions about his drinking.
Objection, hearsay.
Without saying what Lily Rose was saying, please continue on.
Sustain the objection.
Thank you.
So she was asking me questions about the drinking, and was very upset.
Sustain the objection.
Yeah, you can't say what Lily Rose said.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you can tell gestures,
Sorry.
you can tell, and you can say what you and Mr. Depp said, okay?
Sorry. So she was upset, and Johnny we were with the kids, and he kind of threw himself off the boat in a half playful way, like a dead fish kind of way. I don't know how to describe it, almost like a belly flop. But we were on a skip, like a smaller boat parked next to the yacht, and he's jumping. Well, he jumped off the front of it, but kind of in a chest forward way. Like it looked a little scary, like not something somebody would do if they're completely okay. You know, it was started off all of us kind of taking turns jumping off the edge of the yacht into the water, and then he at one point kind of throws himself over, and it looked a little scary, the way his body fell into the water. And Lily Rose started to cry and expressed to me that she
Objection,
was
hearsay.
upset.
Sustained.
You can't say what she said. You can tell expressions or observations, but you can't say what Lily Rose said.
So Lily Rose is crying, and then the crying becomes like a panic like almost like a panic attack, like rapid breathing, crying, lots of questions. And I'm holding her, kind of comforting her, and Johnny comes in, and within a few seconds, I realized that he, kind of shifted his attention on me, and then he seemed very angry. He asked Lily Rose to leave. Lily Rose leaves, looks at me, leaves, crying, and Johnny, I don't remember the words he used, but starts accusing me of kind of like telling on him and calling him, a drunk in front of his kids. I hadn't done that. I was actually trying to protect Johnny. It didn't feel like my place at all to share that with his daughter or anyone at the time, other than adults who might help with it, but not his kids. So I was trying to tell him, I was just trying to comfort her. I was trying to protect you. He basically was accusing me of doing this thing and of making them aware of that he was drinking again. And he slams me up against the side wall of the bedroom of the cabin. We were in the bedroom this whole time, but up against the wall of the cabin, and slams me up by my neck and holds me there for a second and tells me that he could fucking kill me. And that was an embarrassment. I was embarrassing. It was embarrassment. This whole thing was a joke. It was all embarrassment. I made him feel sick. And I'll never forget. I'm very, very, very much in love with this whole family now. And he's saying I'm embarrassing to him. And that somehow stuck in me more than I could fucking kill you. It just sounded like hyperbole. It sounded like something he was just saying. But the names that he was calling me, well, kind of just pushing me up against the wall by my neck, it hurt my feelings. It hurt. When I saw Lily Rose again, we get, I won't say what she told me, but the next thing we do is we call for a helicopter to come and take off of the boat or off of the island. So we leave the boat, go to the landing of a part of the island, or maybe it was a different island we had to get to leave, and we take off. I'm holding Lily Rose literally holding her under my arm while she's crying, and we're lifting off. And Jack ended up not coming with us at the last minute. He stayed behind. And we were taking off, and I remember being really torn about leaving. I felt bad about leaving, even though that had happened. I still felt awful leaving. I felt awful leaving him. I also felt like I had done something wrong. He was mad at me. I wasn't sure, or what I had done, but I remember not being, I'm getting all these text messages from him calling me all these names, and it barely coherent, barely. And I'm holding his daughter crying.
And let me just stop you for a moment. Michelle, can you pull up Defendant's Exhibit 180?
Do you believe that's already in
It is already into evidence, Your Honor, so if we may publish it to the jury. And Amber, I'm going to ask you to take a look at 180. And this is text messages from Mr. Depp to you. Do you recall these?
Yes, I do.
And are these the text messages?
Yes, that's what he was sending me while I was taking care of his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, I'm about to go into another event. Should I keep going?
I mean, that's fine. Do you think this is a good point to break
probably,
for the day?
I think it's probably good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and conclude for today.
All right. Wait, where am I in life? Right here. Bam! Hey, Jasmine, you still here? Where? Mm, Jasmine might have already fell asleep. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to tell you, press like and subscribe. We did make it. Yay, I thought you was sleeping. So, I thought you was sleeping. What do you want to do now? You want to talk some shit? Need some ice cream? I gotta finish this ice cream. I thought this trial was gonna be longer. So, what do we want to do? It's 11:40. I guess we should end, huh? I've been doing this 2 hours and 9 minutes. Holy shit. This is a long time. Well, man, this lag is stupid because I'm wondering if you're going to answer. So I'm sitting here like you might answer me. Ah, Jasmine, I'm your Aladdin. What do you want to do? Okay. Man, where do you work? It is a stupid lag. I bet you do something cool. Like, well, no, you don't work second shift. I was going to say barmaid. Not unless you. Feather, you were like 2 hours late. All right, Jasmine, you go give your pillow some head and your sheets some ass. Have the sweetest dreams ever. Hey, well, Red Feather, technically you did. But, but, you work at UPS. That must be cool. Feather, you did miss alive. You used to do. Oh yeah, it is Friday. Damn, that's right. It is Friday. Well, I can sit up with you for a little bit. We can rewatch what we just watched just now if you want to. We'll have to go on my other stream though, because this one's been going for almost 2.5 hours. So, Feather, are you wanting to stay awake? No, I didn't go anywhere. Wait, what the hell is happening? This stupid lag. No, what is happening? Did Feather leave? Feather, did you leave? She's at the beginning of the stream, ain't she? No. She should be watching me right now eat ice cream. Because, well, because she should. be watching me eat ice cream. Damn it, she did leave. Why? Why? I didn't even say bye. Only Jasmine said bye. Ah, damn it. Feather. Feather left. Oh, Feather. Oh, she did. Damn it. Feather. I didn't even say bye. Ah, okay. Fine. I'm going to say bye. All right, everybody. It's time to give your pillow some head and your sheets some ass and have these sweetest dreams ever. I love you so much. Good night. I think. Good night.